Chief. I'm not sure about this. We don't want to get hit by any flying discs, Chief. And I don't have the colors on for it either, so that they see us. So let's come right back on down the road. Next time, Chief. Here's a path back out. Thank you, Chief. Yeah, thank you. Oh, what do you need? Okay. So, thank you, Great Spirit. I see the three-sister trunk tree. We're up here by some park. It's definitely something that, hey, we could begin parking here and walk in that direction instead of walking to here and turning around and going back. So thank you for that. And this is a much sweeter place to park and kind of begin. So grateful for the two huge mushrooms that caught both Chief and I's attention. Come on, I need to keep my heart rate up. Thank you. That was a nice little stop. But let's keep going. Thank you. The slight bit of restriction being on leash versus free hand, so to speak. So that must be the beginning of another trail. Maybe we'll check that out one day. We'll start coming up here to park, Chief. And then there's the one direction to go. Pretty much, unless you make a loop around the little trinity of swamp lakes. Big old bee hornet there. One of those Russian ground hornets or something, I think is what they're called. But don't quote me on that one either, Spirit. It's a big waspy hornet that loves to live in the ground. So, been in some deep contemplation. Found myself, in such tears of gratitude and going, really? And I can understand now the reasoning of Spirit and the pipe bundle and the Sundance, you could say, the energies of Saturn slowing down and getting ready to go into retrograde after the beautiful Mercury retrograde, which was basically the entire month of July. And the Sundance and the releasing of all of the baggage and getting the recharge, reset, being held by the basket in doing so. And as an Earth collective, which includes the personal. So, and then realizing once again, that home, so to speak, at least with a big portion of my relatives. Come on, Chief. And then, thank you. Had a car coming, Chief. 2 cars coming. No lollygagging in an intersection. So, and so this, I had a plan, and it was a complete redirecting. And you are heading straight to Dad's, and then having this time of being within my dad's energy. We've had a couple discussions, but he spends a lot of time on his computer with his headphones and doing his puzzles and working his book in between and listening to different programs, and has his own kind of schedule, which is part of a schedule but not part of a schedule. And feeling the energies and witnessing and having that fly's eye view of what all Kathleen does for this household, and not just the household, but for a few of the others in the community, checking in on them or making grocery runs for them. And yeah, just her beauty and grace and Dad working his own program. And so it's left me a lot of time to begin, having those days of rest, and then reconnecting in with the animal astrology, feeling the animals. And yes, I was doing that prior, when I was listening to the astrology I listen to, which is Wisdom Dream and Eye of Wisdom, and getting to catch up on those, and then reconnecting in, so to speak, in the animalistic way that I love to do, that really resonates with my soul. And now when I hear the planet names, I'm connecting right in with that animal and loving how that feels inside of my own soul, my portion of the soul, my spirit within the soul. And so now it is, and then finding myself connecting with some land, and how different this feels, even from the previous time to the previous time to the previous time. And then at the same time, having to breathe through it and feeling scared, breathing through that fear of, I could really do this. This is really possible. And it doesn't matter what anybody else says, thinks, feels, joins in or not joins in. This is possible. No matter what. And walking these lands, this trail along the Muddy River, Muddy Creek, or what's the other one? It's Muddy River, Muddy Creek, and the Mill Creek comes through, but there's another one. that tangents into the Muddy Creek, and of course I found those names so synchronistic, metaphysical, and monarch butterfly. Hey, hey, yes, the milkweed pods, I saw them. I will be sure. Hakuna Matata. And so as I found myself when I began walking down here is going, thank you. I feel the home. Please welcome me back into the lands. So, if it is meant to be, it will be.
Hello.
If it is meant to be, it will be. And if it's not, well, this or something better. And so, one of the things I've learned is sometimes it's a ceremony within a ceremony. And if it's not meant to be, it will not be. However, the prayer work is there. The feelings are there. The visions and that resonance is there. And the more we beam that out, the more we vibe that out, the more we share that out, it takes place not only for ourselves because we're vibing in it and we're feeling it, and maybe this is not the outcome. However, sharing that vibe, putting that vibe out, resonating in that vibe, it brings and magnetizes to ourselves what that is for us in a greater way than we can imagine. And what feels so good to my soul, because I've really gotten to this place of being placed from one place to the next place to the next place to the next place, and doing this over and over and over and over, and many times in an elevated way, to bring it up to the next notch of whatever is to be, not only for myself, because I've noticed that even within the way I travel now is so much more, I would call, elevated in a higher vibe than I would or could have imagined at one point. And it was only an imagination at that point. But it takes place on the bigger collective as a whole. Sometimes you just begin seeing in little pockets, like, oh, that sunflower sprouted and is now getting ready to bloom. Oh, there's this one. Oh, there's one over there. Oh, there's one over here. Oh, there's one over there. And then the sunflower develops, and all those little flowers inside that big flower begins, having their seeds, and it starts feeding all of the other animals and builds more pockets, more blooms for the following year. So, and it spreads and spreads, and it knows no borders. And so that, for me, is one of the coolest things to witness, as we do these ceremonies, feeling into these vibes and putting that out into the universe and feeling that excitement of, oh my gosh, is this the spot? Is this the spot? And having that freedom of, okay, well, it's not the spot. We're still okay. All is well. It was for the greater whole. Let's see how this reverberates out. And we move on to the next adventure of our journey. And I really do believe my job is just to show this chief here a really good time. He was definitely adamant that it was time that we were going to go for our hike. It was time for our little meditation walk journal, rambling and to do our thing. That he pulled me up the hill straight to Hoopsie and stopped at her and said, well, let's go. It's time. So, of course, I had to giggle and laugh and go, you're right, Chief. Let's go. It's not raining. It's not storming. It's all about you, Chief. All about giving the animals a really good time while we enjoy ourselves. The least amount of harm. Hey, hey. Love it.